Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXC Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So the Lacoste the Funds meeting that happened in Switzerland, and if I mispronounce that trackies, I really do apologize, have really shown us some real highlight performances from a few particular athletes heading into the Paris Olympic Games. And I'm here to discuss a few of those performances in this video. And of course, you can look forward to other performances in other videos coming up. So I really want to touch on the sprints, the women's 100 meters and the men's 100 meters. And I really want to start with the men's 100 meters because this for me came out of absolute left field with Benjamin Richardson coming out and dropping a dropping time to head into Paris, with a favorite stag. Best believe it. We didn't see this happening so late in the game, but definitely considering the performance that he's now laid down, seems as though he is turning and shaping into form just the right time to represent his country, South Africa, at the Olympic Games and maybe surprise, some more on the big earth stage, right? So Benjamin Richardson in the finals for the men's 100 meters clocks an absolutely phenomenal 9.86 seconds to take the win. Now, this was done in a positive 1.9 meters per second wind. So do with that as you may when it comes to wind strackies so far this season. But yeah, a 9.86 is a 9.86. In second place was Ronnie Baker, 9.95, and in third place was Kamara. From Gambia, he ran 9.98. So three places in the top three as is place below 10 seconds. So absolutely great running from these athletes. But as I said, Benjamin Richardson pretty much came out of left field with this performance. He ran a season's best time in the heat, 10.08 seconds, which then, set him up nicely for that 9.86 in the finals. But it still doesn't change the fact that he absolutely came out of left field with this performance because his best performance so far this year was a 10.14 seconds, right? So that's the fastest he's gone so far this season. So to come out here and run a 9.86 is absolutely crazy. Now, he does have a personal best of 10.08 in the 100 meters done back in 2022. So he pretty much, mirrored that performance in the heat, but then 9.86 absolutely came out of left field for him. And even though track is, I suppose, as a South African, you would say going into the Paris Olympic Games, this would make him one of the faves, especially to make it to a finals, at least track is. But does this, in my opinion, change the shakeup for the sprint results that we are expecting? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think this changes who we're expecting to see feature in the men's 100. I still think Akane Simbine is the best South African. So far, he's shown in multiple rounds that he can go toe for toe with the best in the world, right? So I think even though this 9.86 is faster than Akane Simbine has gone this season, Akane still goes in, I believe, as the number one South African. Though I could be wrong, heading into the Olympic Games. And I still do think the Jamaicans, the Americans, let's see Little Bogo as well. I still think there are a few athletes that remain in top pole position as far as I'm concerned when we head into the 100 meters at Paris. As I said, though, we may get surprises, and championships is where we typically see surprises. After all, look at Marcel Jacobs. He walked away with the Olympic gold medal in 2021, and I'm sure going in, many wouldn't have thought he would have walked away with the win there. So anything can really happen on the day. However, don't believe that this, changes the shakeup, but I think it definitely makes things more interesting heading into the Paris Olympic Games. And as I said, as we get closer to the Olympic Games, we're seeing much better performances from athletes that we were not really even expecting to give us these performances. And it just makes the sport that much more interesting, that harder to call as well, and that much more, anticipation is building heading into the Olympic Games. The more athletes that are performing well is the more you're unable to say, okay, it's definitely going to be XYZ taking this race. And as far as I'm concerned, it builds anticipation and more people will be watching because because you're absolutely clueless as it relates to who may win the event. So I'm here for, events like that where you can't necessarily call the win just like that, easy peasy, right? When, it gets your heart pounding like this, those are the events that I really look forward to watching. So yeah, I think this makes more or builds more anticipation for the men's 100 meters, and I'm absolutely here for it, and absolutely here to see where Benjamin Richardson goes in the men's 100 meters at the Paris Olympic Games. After all, 9.86 ain't no fluke time in today's day. Absolutely not. So yeah, he goes in, maybe makes the finals, and maybe even does, one better than that. Who is to say? But Trackies, let me certainly know your thoughts in the comment section below for Benjamin Richardson coming out and giving us a blinder 9.86. Also, I want to touch on the women's 100 meters. Mojinka Kambunji walks away with the win there, and she ran a time of 10.90 seconds to take the win. In second place, her countrywoman, Cora Salom, and she ran a 10.95. They're both from Switzerland, and Kemba Nelson was in third with a 10.04 seconds. Now, I'm, intrigued by Mojinka Kambunji. She's been struggling in the past few seasons. I know she also did surgery. She really came back late last year, right, and was getting into some of her best running. And here we are in 2024. We're right on the heels of the Olympic Games again. These athletes are turning up and running their best performances. And Mujinga Kambunji is a championship performer. She always makes it to finals, trackies, and runs her best. So the expectation is that she could potentially go to Paris and do, absolutely great there in the women's 100 meters again, making things much more interesting and building anticipation for the actual event. Her countrywoman, 10.95 seconds. Great running, but not only for her individual performance, but now I'm looking at the, Switzerland team and thinking, are they in contention when we talk about, the 4x1? Where would we place a Switzerland team? You know what I mean? They're looking good as far as I'm concerned, based on this particular shakeup right now. Switzerland is looking like they're just as good as a Great Britain as things stand right now. So who is to say that they may not get themselves on the middle podium? For Kemba Nelson, good seeing that 11.04, considering that the last time I saw Kemba on social media, she was talking about going to bake a cake, right? So it seems as though she dropped that cake, that butter, she dropped that to the floor and packed her suitcase and was off to Europe the moment she heard that she was part of the 4x1, reserve team, right? So she packed up her suitcase, dashed right at the cake back to the long time, and was out here running an 11.04. So she was ready. I'm happy for her. That equals her season's best. And this race was ran in a positive, I believe, 1 point. Child, why do they have so much winds here? I don't know which one of the winds is this wind. I'm assuming that it's a positive 1.1 meters per second wind, but it's positive something at this particular point. Track is. But anyway, that's it for the results in the men's 100 meters and the women's 100 meters. I'm intrigued now to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Benjamin Richardson, what do you think about this particular South African? Do you think he now ranks above the likes of an Akani Simbine that has been very consistent this season in the men's 100 meters for, South Africa, as well as a regular championship performer, you will say, making it to finals and placing well? Do you think this 9.86 leapfrogs him better than, an Akani Simbine, or is this just, one-off performance like some of you people will say? Where does this put Benjamin Richardson in the shakeup of things? I want to know your thoughts. Also, for Kemba Nelson, seems as though she was staying race ready because she comes out as well and she drops at 11.04. Drop the cake butter, as I said. What do you think the performance will be once we get to the Olympic Games? If she's given the opportunity to run the 4x1, how well do you think she'll be able to perform? As usual, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.